Welcome, traveler. Settle into your bed, let your shoulders drop, and allow your breath to slow, gently, like the wind brushing across a quiet desert. Tonight, I'll take you on a soft and silent journey, far across time, to the lands of ancient Persia, through sleepy mountain passes, hushed caravan inns, and golden plains stretching under endless skies. We'll ride the Royal Road, the lifeline of the Persian Empire, built long ago by kings whose names have faded like dust on stone. There is no rush now, no haste or noise here, just the rhythm of hooves on earth, the creak of saddlebags, and the comforting hush of wind over old stone roads. So close your eyes if you wish, or let them grow heavy as I speak. Imagine the world of 2,000 years ago, unfolding softly around you. We begin in the western lands of Lydia, where the Royal Road once began its long and patient stretch across the empire. Let's take our time. There's no hurry. Imagine this. You're seated on the back of a quiet, broad-shouldered Persian packhorse. Its hooves strike the dirt with a soft and steady thump. Around you, the fields of Lydia glow amber in the warm afternoon light. The road ahead is wide, smooth, and built with ancient care. Flat stones pressed tightly together, lined with low markers carved with symbols long worn by time. Tall cypress trees sway gently along the edges, their branches whispering softly in the breeze. You smell dry grass, dust, and hints of spice from the panniers your horse carries. This is Sardis, the ancient capital of Lydia, where the Royal Road begins. The buildings are made of sun-warmed stone and brick. Market stalls are shutting for the evening. The scent of olives, cured meats, and sun-dried figs drifts on the breeze. You pass small shrines at the edge of the road, delicate little temples to forgotten household gods. A few other travelers nod sleepily as they pass. A merchant hums a tune beneath his breath. A child waves lazily from a rooftop. This is a quiet world, a peaceful one, a place where the road is more than a path. It's a way of life. The Royal Road stretches for over 2,500 kilometers. It will carry us from here, in Lydia, all the way to Susa, the ancient heart of Persia, where kings once ruled beneath starry skies. But for now, we simply ride. The saddle is warm beneath you. The sun is low. You feel the gentle rocking motion of the horse beneath you, step by step. And so we begin. The light grows softer as you leave Lydia behind. Now the land begins to shift, from gentle hills to rugged foothills that ripple across the countryside like an old tapestry. You're entering Phrygia, an ancient kingdom nestled between highlands and river valleys, quiet and worn by time even in the days of Darius the Great. The Royal Road continues beneath your horse's steady hooves. It winds now, gently curving along the shape of the land. Olive groves stretch into the distance, their silvery leaves shimmering softly in the breeze. From time to time, you hear the low bleat of goats or the rustle of fig trees. The road is still well kept here, a testament to the empire's pride. Darius ensured that no matter how far from the heart of Persia you traveled, you'd always feel the presence of order, of care. At regular intervals, you pass old stone milestones. Some bear carvings in Old Persian, cuneiform inscriptions gently eroded by centuries of wind and sun. Imagine that each step your horse takes now was once mirrored by envoys, messengers, merchants, carrying silks and letters, carrying coins and stories from the Aegean coast to the heart of Susa. You approach a Persian relay station, a chapar khane. These inns were placed every few hours along the road. For the king's couriers, it was a place to rest, swap horses, and eat a warm meal. But for you, the traveler of the mind, It's a quiet space of shade and stillness. The inn's courtyard is enclosed by simple walls. Vines twist over wooden beams. A clay brazier glows softly in a corner, and you can hear the gentle hiss of water being poured into cups. A sleepy stable hand gives you a nod. A few travelers doze beneath the overhang, wrapped in wool cloaks. You dismount slowly. Your legs are stiff, but not uncomfortably so. You feel calm, safe, carried by the rhythms of the road. Someone offers you warm bread with crushed olives and herbs. You eat slowly, each bite grounding you. In the distance, a shepherd sings to his flock, a tune that floats faintly on the wind. The fire crackles. The night begins to settle in. You sleep that night on a bed of wool blankets in a quiet corner of the station. The stars above are wide and bright, not the crowded stars of a modern city, but the ancient sky, deep and immense, stretching from one side of the empire to the other. You lie there, listening to the distant call of a nightjar and the soft sound of water dripping into a clay basin nearby. The fire has gone low. Embers pulse like sleeping hearts. Someone nearby shifts in their sleep. A horse snorts quietly in the stable. You are not alone, but you are at peace. In this moment, you are connected to generations of travelers, merchants, priests, soldiers, wanderers. All of them passed through here, resting under the same stars, lulled to sleep by the same sounds. It is a comfort, a long, slow thread that binds the ancient world to you now. You dream of sandals brushing against warm stone, of a long road gently rising and falling, always stretching forward, always inviting you onward. The morning comes softly with pale blue light and the distant sound of a shepherd's pipe. You wake slowly, still wrapped in warmth, the scent of ash and dry earth in the air. The innkeeper offers warm barley porridge sweetened with date syrup, and a cup of water pulled cool from a clay jar. You mount your horse again. It is calm and patient, as if it too knows that this journey is not meant to be rushed. Ahead of you lies the wide sweep of Cappadocia, a plateau of soft volcanic stone, windswept valleys, and hidden troglodyte villages carved right into the cliffs. The road stretches smooth and straight for long hours, cutting through gently rolling plains dotted with squat trees and sun-bleached grass. In the distance, you see the famous rock towers, strange formations that rise like chimneys from the land. Some are homes, others shrines. Their windows are small and round, and their doors are shaped like ovals, almost like something from a dream. A caravan passes, long and slow-moving. Their camels are adorned with red tassels and thick wool blankets. The merchants nod politely as they pass. Their faces are lined from sun and wind, and their voices are low and kind. They speak of weather and trade, never in a hurry, never urgent. Overhead, the sky is wide and cloudless, the color of pale turquoise. The wind is soft, just enough to carry the scent of crushed sage and warm stone. You pause beneath a carved rock overhang to rest in the shade. A small boy offers dried apricots from a basket. You eat one, and it's sweet and soft, as if kissed by the sun. Time moves differently here, slower, like the land itself is asking you to listen. And so, you do. Later that afternoon, the wind picks up, not harsh but steady. It rushes over the open plains, carrying little swirls of dust and the faint scent of burning cedar from a village far ahead. You pull your cloak a little tighter. Every now and then, you see a column of smoke curling into the sky, the sign of a small settlement or roadside kitchen. These towns are spaced many leagues apart, but the people know the road well. They wave gently, calling out blessings in Old Persian. A farmer and his daughter pass you on a wooden cart drawn by a low, strong ox. He nods, She smiles shyly. There's something eternal about this landscape, as though time forgot to move here. The road remains the same. The people change little. They cook flatbreads on open griddles, press olive oil by hand, and make sandals from goat leather, just as their ancestors did. At sunset, you reach a small hill. From the top, you see the road winding eastward, golden and calm under the fading sun. To the north, mountains rise like blue shadows. To the south, the land seems to melt into soft plains. You dismount and sit on a large, flat stone. You feel the wind on your face. You hear nothing but silence and the gentle, distant sound of a bell, perhaps a sheep returning home. The sky turns orange, then lilac, then velvet blue. And as night returns, the stars appear one by one, old friends, steady in their rhythm, patient in their watch. You lie back on your blanket, your horse nearby, grazing softly, and once again, you sleep. You awaken early, before the sun has fully risen. The sky is silver with morning mist, and dew clings to the grass like tiny mirrors. Your horse is quiet beside you, flicking its tail lazily. In the early hours, the wind is cooler, and as you begin your descent toward Ekbatana, you find yourself moving into a more fertile, greener land. Trees thicken slightly. Small streams wind through the meadows. The Zagros Mountains are beginning to show themselves. Distant, sleepy giants still wrapped in the last shadows of night. The Royal Road is still here, firm beneath your horse's feet. But now, it feels different, more intimate. Stone walls line parts of the path, covered in creeping vines. Cypress trees offer shade, and their fragrance mixes with the soft scent of loamy earth and wild thyme. You pass a field where women in long tunics harvest barley by hand. They move in unison, slow and unhurried, their laughter gentle like wind chimes in the air. A few children chase a goat across the hillside, giggling quietly. This is the life of the countryside, quiet, repeating, unchanged for generations. A world not measured by clocks, but by sunrises, shadows, and the turning of seasons. You stop to rest beside a brook. The water is cool and clear, running over stones smoothed by centuries. You kneel, cup your hands, and drink. It tastes like the mountain, clean, light, and ancient. Birds chirp gently in the trees. A few bees hum over lavender blooms nearby. The world is soft here, and in this softness you ride onward. As the afternoon stretches into golden hours, you see it, Ekbatana, resting in the green foothills of the Zagros, like a jewel nestled in velvet. The city is ancient, even by Persian standards. Once the capital of the Medes, later claimed by Cyrus, then beautified by Darius. It is a city of many colors, known for its 7 concentric walls, each painted a different hue, circling the heart of the city like a coiled rainbow. The outer walls are pale ochre. Then come walls of red, blue, and deep green. At the very center, atop a rise, the inner palace gleams with tiles of gold and silver. But here, at the edges where you enter, life is quiet and slow. Vendors sell flatbreads and pistachios beneath canvas awnings. The smell of grilled eggplant and herbs floats in the air. Water trickles from public fountains, old marble basins shaped like lion heads. A woman offers you a cup of pomegranate juice. You thank her with a nod. You pass through a stone archway, worn smooth by countless feet and hooves. The sound of your horse's steps changes. Now a gentle echo on old paving stones. Dogs nap in alleyways. A potter shapes clay on a wheel, his hands moving with the rhythm of someone who's done this since childhood. Everywhere there is color, not loud, but rich and warm. Dyed wool, copper bowls, painted walls, glazed tiles reflecting the light. You stay the night at a small guest house. The owner, an elderly man with kind eyes, serves you lentils, bread, and honey. He tells you of the city's past, but his voice is soft and slow, barely above the sound of wind rustling the vines outside. You fall asleep to the hum of insects, the murmur of water, and the comfort of a thick wool blanket pulled up beneath your chin. In the still morning before the merchants stir, you walk through Ekbatana's shaded lanes. The sun hasn't yet reached over the hills. Light pools gently in corners. You see a cat stretch across a windowsill, purring softly. The city is hushed, like a dream not yet woken. A young boy sweeps dust from a courtyard with a bundle of reeds. A priest lights incense at a roadside altar. The smoke curls skyward, slow and silver. You smell rosewater and baked clay and something faintly sweet, perhaps figs simmering for morning porridge. There are no loud sounds here, no urgency, only the soft rhythm of waking life. You feel rested, and though you know the road stretches still far ahead, you are content. The journey is not measured by distance, only by moments, like this one, quiet and golden. You return to your horse. It waits patiently, as if understanding that every part of this voyage, even the pauses, matters. You mount again. The Royal Road calls once more. You leave Ekbatana in the early light, the sky slowly warming from gray to pale rose. The Royal Road leads eastward now, into the folds of the Zagros, the old bones of the earth rising slowly, like waves turned to stone. The road narrows here, built with care between ridges of jagged rock. It is lined by low stone markers and worn places where the hooves of thousands of travelers, long forgotten, have smoothed the path. Moss clings to shaded corners. Tiny blue flowers grow between cracks in the stone. The air is cooler now. You feel it against your skin, not sharp, but fresh and alive, like something that has traveled a great distance just to greet you. You hear the soft clink of your horse's tack and the rustle of pine branches in the wind. Somewhere, far above, a hawk calls out once, and then silence settles again like a cloak. You pass through mountain passes shaped like gates, high walls of granite rising on either side. Sometimes the road becomes a ledge, carved directly into the mountainside, with the land dropping away into misty valleys below. But you are never afraid. The horse is sure-footed. The air is kind. There are resting shelters here, made of stacked stone with thatched roofs. Inside, you find dry firewood left behind by other travelers and a place to sit and listen to the wind. You light a small fire. It crackles gently, the flame soft and golden. You drink warm milk and eat a fig, watching as the shadows lengthen across the stone. Here, in the high mountains, time stands still. The only movement is the whispering wind and the slow drift of clouds across the peaks. By the next morning, the road widens again. The mountains here are dotted with small shepherd villages, made of stone and earth, roofs covered with turf and wild flowers. Smoke curls from low chimneys. A man leads a flock of sheep through a narrow lane, his staff tapping lightly on the stones. He nods as you pass. His beard is white, his eyes bright and kind. The sheep bleat softly. Bells tied around their necks chime with a gentle, irregular rhythm, a music made only here, in the quiet folds of the earth. You stop to water your horse at a mountain spring. The water bubbles up cold and clean, and the stone around the basin is carved with ancient patterns, spirals, suns, and crescents. A girl brings you a slice of warm flatbread, folded around fresh goat cheese. She says nothing, just smiles, then runs back into her home. The kindness of mountain people is deep and unspoken. You ride again, higher now, until the peaks surround you like silent watchers. Snow lingers in distant crevices, though the air is mild. The light is different here, brighter but softer, as if filtered through memory. You hear no wagons here, only bird song and wind and the quiet heartbeat of the mountains themselves. And in this deep calm, you continue. At the end of a quiet ascent, you come upon a hidden place. It is an old Zoroastrian fire temple, set into the rock like a secret. A simple structure, built of limestone and wood. Its entrance faces east. Inside, a sacred flame has burned for centuries, tended by generations of priests who live quietly here in the high places. The flame itself is not large. It does not roar. It dances softly, almost sleepily, its reflection flickering against the temple's smooth stone walls. The priest who greets you is gentle, with robes the color of cream and ash. He offers no sermon, no ritual, only the invitation to sit and watch. So you do. You sit before the fire, the only sound the soft pop of kindling, the slow hum of air moving through the stone chamber. Outside, the world is vast and wild, but here, there is stillness, the kind that lives at the center of things. The fire is warmth. The fire is memory. You feel it in your bones. After a time, the priest brings you warm tea made with herbs from the mountain slopes. It tastes of lemon, thyme, and something else you can't quite name. You rest there for a while, and when you leave, the flame still dances, as it always has, as it always will. You leave the mountains behind at dawn. The first few miles of descent are slow, your horse picking its way down a trail softened by pine needles and morning dew. Above, the sky is pale and tender, almost the color of milk, with soft streaks of pink brushing the horizon. And then, quite suddenly, the world opens. Before you lies the Elamite Plain, also called Susiana, a wide, endless expanse of gentle grasslands, quiet rivers, and open skies. The Zagros fade behind you like a dream, their blue ridges wrapped in mist. The Royal Road is here too, now wide and worn flat with centuries of footsteps, hooves, and wheels. You ride upon it like a thread pulled gently through time. The plain is calm. You hear birdsong from distant tamarisk groves. Occasionally, a shepherd waves from across a field. A caravan is visible in the far distance, a ribbon of movement gliding silently across the open land. This part of the empire is older than memory. Even before the Persians, the Elamites lived here, planting grain, weaving cloth, and building cities long since melted into the earth. You stop beside a qanat, one of the underground canals that carry fresh water from the mountains into the dry plains. The water here flows softly into a shaded stone basin, and you cup your hands to drink. The taste is pure and light, cold from the long journey beneath the earth. You pass farms where workers gather reeds for roofing and weave baskets with skill passed from mother to daughter for generations. And above it all, the sun glows gentle and gold. By midday, the air grows warmer. You stop beneath a cluster of tamarisk trees, their feathery branches swaying lightly. A village rests nearby, built with mud brick walls the color of sand, low rooftops and shaded courtyards filled with potted herbs. You're welcomed like all travelers on the Royal Road. Hospitality is a sacred thing here. A woman invites you into her courtyard, where a clay stove is glowing gently. She's baking lavash, a thin flatbread laid against the inner walls of the stove. The scent is soft, flour, smoke, and a hint of sesame. You sit beneath the shade of a woven reed canopy, sipping sharbat made with rose petals and sugar. A lazy cat dozes near your feet. A little boy plays with a carved wooden lion, dragging it through the dust and whispering stories to it. Life in these villages is slow and beautiful in its repetition. Bread is baked daily. Water is drawn each morning. Prayers are whispered at dusk and dawn. Time here is not marked by hours, but by the color of the sky and the length of the shadows. You rest, and you listen to the wind as it rustles through the tamarisks, like a lullaby from the earth itself. As the evening comes, you reach the final stretch of the Royal Road and see it, far ahead, glowing in the sunset. Susa, the beloved seat of kings. The city rises gently from the plain, not like a fortress, not like a conquest, but like something natural, something rooted. Its walls are warm-colored, made of ancient brick. Palms sway above the rooftops. A river, the Chosps, winds its way past the gates. The Royal Road leads directly into the city's heart, through a grand stone arch carved with lions and bulls. But even here, on the outskirts, there is quiet. No shouting, no crowds, just the soft sounds of sandals on stone, and the rustling of woven goods hanging in shaded stalls. You pass through irrigated gardens, planted with myrtle, cypress, and pomegranate. They line your path like a gentle procession. The last light of the day filters through their leaves, casting delicate patterns across the road. And then, you are inside. You've arrived, not just at Susa, but at the end of the Royal Road, a road built with vision, with care, with centuries of love and labor. The city is calm. A palace wall rises before you, covered in bright glazed bricks, showing rows of Persian guards, the immortals, in perfect, peaceful formation. But they are not real, just silent images from the past. You dismount, and the stone beneath your feet is warm from the sun, now slowly fading behind the trees. The city of Susa is not loud. It does not announce itself with drums or shouts. It is a city of whispers, built for thought, for reverence, for the smooth movements of scribes and sandal-shod couriers. The Royal Road flows directly into its center like a stream meeting a great, calm lake. You enter beneath a tall gate. The arch is lined with patterned brickwork, soft greens and deep blues. The clay beneath your feet is pressed firm by generations of footsteps. No one stares. No one rushes. Everyone here seems to move with the confidence of belonging. Gardeners in linen tunics sweep leaves from the palace paths. An old woman lights a clay lamp before a family shrine. A child walks beside his grandfather, holding a bunch of dates in one hand and a scroll in the other. This is not just a royal city. This is a living place. You pass through long colonnades, their white stone pillars rising like tree trunks from the earth. The shadows between them are cool and fragrant with rosewater. Between each column are carved reliefs, scenes of tribute bearers from far-off lands, Nubians, Ionians, Scythians, each one carved with gentle detail, each one bringing something precious in their arms. And they are all peaceful. They bow. They offer. They come not in chains but with gifts. That was the dream of the empire, long ago, unity through quiet majesty. And here, in Susa, that dream still flickers like a lantern in the dusk. And then, as evening deepens, you arrive at the Apadana Palace, built long ago by Darius the Great, who once commanded this road be made from sea to sea. The palace is wide, low, and airy, designed not to impress with size, but with grace. The columns are tall and slender. The walls, where not open to the breeze, are covered in glazed bricks, deep blue and turquoise, with patterns of flowers and lions. Here, the great king would once have walked, not in iron and fury, but in silk and sandals, beneath the palm trees of his own garden. The air is full of the scent of citrus blossoms and jasmine. The palace gardeners tend to the trees in silence, pruning with care, washing leaves with pitchers of cool water. A long, reflecting pool lies beside the walkway. You pause and look into it. The surface is still, touched only by the occasional falling leaf or a gentle ripple from a breeze. You see the sky reflected there, deep blue, freckled with the first stars of the evening. A scribe sits on a cushion beneath an awning. He writes with a reed pen, slowly and carefully, dipping into a small ink pot. He does not look up. This is not a city of battle. It is a city of thought, of letters, of peace. And though the empire may one day fade, the stillness here, this moment, remains untouched. You are invited, quietly, to rest in the king's garden. No one speaks. There is no need. The garden, or paradisa, is enclosed by vine-covered walls. The air smells of sweet almond blossoms and damp earth. Crickets sing softly in the background. The pathways are made of smooth white stone, and shallow rills of water run beside them, murmuring gently as they go. You find a shaded bench beneath a fruiting pomegranate tree. Its branches bow with red fruit, glowing faintly in the dim light of lanterns strung above. A servant brings you a light blanket, woven of fine wool, and sets a clay cup beside you. Warm milk sweetened with saffron and honey. You sip it slowly. Above, the stars turn gently in the sky. Somewhere, in the distance, a bronze bell tolls once, long and low, the sound echoing like a heartbeat through the earth. And now, your journey is over. You've ridden from the western coast, through forests and deserts, through mountains and valleys. You've watched bread bake, and fire dance, and stone remember. And now, in the garden of the king, you feel it. Peace. The blanket is warm, the breeze is soft, the garden is still, and as you rest, your eyes slowly drift shut, just as the road itself now sleeps behind you. Its stones cool in the moonlight, its dust settled, its story gently folded like parchment in the archives of time. The royal road carried messages and kings and dreams, and tonight, it carried you. You are safe, you are still, you are home. Sleep now, traveler. Let the story keep riding, quietly, beyond the stars.